All right. Where to start? Where to begin? Where to end? All right, I'm done. Have a good day. All right. My topic is going to be about my life, what I've gone through, and what I came out of, and where I become. Good morning. My name is Brother Steve, and before anybody sees the man I am today, they need to understand the young man I used to be. I grew up in Chicago, and if you know anything about Chicago, then you know about every block can teach you something. Some blocks teach you survival, some teach you loyalty, some teach you pain, and some teach you how fast life can disappear. I was young when I got introduced to the streets, too young to understand what I was really stepping into, but old enough to know I wanted acceptance, protection, identity, and respect. I became a Cobra at a young age. Back then, it felt like family. It felt like brotherhood. It felt like people who would ride for you no matter what. That was wrong. When you grow up in certain environments, the streets know exactly what to offer you. They offer you belonging before purpose. They offer you power before wisdom. They offer protection before peace. And when you're young, angry, confused, and trying to survive, that lifestyle can start to feel normal. I learned early how to move certain ways, how to watch people, how to stay alert, how to never trust too much, and how to always be ready. Every day felt like a test. Every corner had tension. Every argument had the potential to become something bigger. We lived fast because honestly, most of us didn't think we would live long. That's the truth a lot of young people don't say out loud. When you're trapped in that life, you stop planning for the future because tomorrow doesn't feel promised. There were nights when sirens nonstop, nights hearing gunshots so often that eventually they stopped shocking you. Friends getting locked up, friends getting buried, mothers crying, candles on sidewalks, and names on shirts. We normalized trauma because it was all around us. And when pain becomes normal, you stop realizing how damaged you really are. I carried anger for years. Anger from things I saw, anger from things I survived, anger from disappointment, anger from feeling like life had already decided what I was supposed to become. And instead of I was supposed to become, and instead of healing, I hardened myself in the streets. People teach you that softness gets you hurt, vulnerability gets you exposed. So you build walls, you become cold, you react, you become somebody who is always prepared for war. But the problem with living in survival mode is eventually it follows you everywhere. Even when danger isn't present, your mind still feels threatened. Even when people love you, you struggle to trust it. Even when opportunities come, you sabotage them because chaos feels more familiar than peace. And that came the moment that changed my life forever. At 17 years old, I got shot 5 times. Excuse me. I still remember the moment, the confusion, the adrenaline, the fear trying to hit me all at once. 1 second life is moving normal, and the next second everything changes. Bullets don't just tear through flesh, they tear through families. They tear through futures, they tear through innocence. Getting shot forced me to face something I had been avoiding for years. I was not invincible. At 17, most kids are thinking about graduation, sports, first loves, or figuring out who they want to be. I was fighting for my life.
Come on.
Thank you. I was fighting for my life. And laying there, hurting, bleeding, trying to survive, I realized how close I came to death. I realized how easy my mother could have been planning a funeral instead of waiting for me to recover. I realized how quickly my story could have ended. People see scars, but they don't always understand what scars represent. Every scar tells a story. Every scar reminds you of the moment you could have lost everything. Some scars are physical, some scars are emotional. The emotional ones sometimes take longer to heal. After getting shot, I wish I could say everything changed overnight. I wish I could say I immediately became a different person, but life usually doesn't work like that. Transformation is a process. Healing is a process. Growth is a process. I still struggle, battle the mentality I had developed growing up. I still had anger, I still had pride, I still had pain. But deep down, something had shifted. I started questioning my life more seriously. I started wondering why I survived. I started wondering if the Lord spared me for a reason. Because the truth is, a lot of young men never make it back from moments like that. Some die instantly, some die later. Some survive physically, but mentally never recover. Yet somehow I was still here. There was something powerful about surviving what should have destroyed you. I began to understand that surviving isn't the same as living a lot of us survive. But we're emotionally dead inside. We survive trauma but never heal from it. We survive violence but continue reproducing it. We survive pain but become addicted to carrying it. I realized the Lord didn't keep me around just so I could stay stuck in the same cycle. And then life gave me another turning point. In 2004, I met my wife in church. Now, if somebody would have told the younger version of me that one day I meet the love of my life in church, I probably would have laughed at them, because back then church wasn't where my mind was focused. The streets had sharpened me more than scripture had. But the Lord has a way of bringing people into your life at the right time. Meeting my wife changed me in ways I can't fully explain. She saw something in me beyond my past, beyond the gang affiliation, beyond the anger, beyond the scars. She saw the man I could become instead of only the man I had been. And sometimes that kind of love can help save a person. A good woman brings peace where chaos once lived. I remember sitting in church and slowly beginning to feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope, real hope. Not temporary excitement, not street dreams, not empty promises, but hope. That's my life could actually become something different. Church became more than a building to me. It became a place where I started rebuilding my identity. It became a place where I learned that the Lord still loves broken people, that the Lord still restores people who feel too far gone. A lot of people think church is only for perfect people, but the truth is church is full of people who need grace, full of people who need healing, full of people who made mistakes, full of people trying to become better than who they used to be. I had to learn forgiveness toward people who hurt me, forgiveness toward myself for decisions I made. That's one of the hardest things for many men to do. We carry quietly, silently. We carry shame silently. We replay old mistakes over and over in our minds. But eventually, I realized that if the Lord was giving me another chance, I had to stop condemning myself every day. That didn't mean life became easy. Being in church doesn't mean you stop facing struggles. It means you stop facing them alone. I still had challenges. I still had temptation. I still had moments where my old mentality tried to pull me backwards. But I kept showing up. I kept praying. I kept growing. I kept trying. And that matters. That matters. People underestimate consistency. Sometimes victory is simply refusing to quit, refusing to return to who you used to be, refusing to let your past become your permanent identity. There were moments I had to unlearn survival habits from the streets. I had to learn how to communicate differently, learn patience, learn how to trust, learn how to love correctly. Trauma can distort your understanding of relationship. It can make you defensive even when nobody is attacking you. Healing requires honesty. I had to admit that beneath all this toughness was pain. A lot of men from environments like mine are hurting deeply, but we were taught to hide it. We were taught to mask it. We were with aggression, pride, money, violence, and distraction. But unhealed pain eventually spills into every area of life, into relationships, into parenting, into friendship, and into decisions. Church helped me confront the man in the mirror, not the reputation, not the image, not the street name, the real man. I started realizing that strength is not about how dangerous you are. Strength is about discipline. Strength is about self-control. Self is about leading with integrity. Anybody can destroy something. It takes maturity to build something. I thank the Lord for my wife because throughout the years we built a life together, rooted in faith. We weren't perfect, but we stayed committed. We grew together. We learned together. She stood beside me while I continued to become the man the Lord called me to be. When I look back now, I see how the Lord was working even when I couldn't recognize it. Even in the darkest moments, even when I was making bad choices, even when I was surrounded by violence, even when I got shot, the Lord still had his hand over my life. That realization changes you. Because once you totally understand mercy, you stop taking life for granted. There are people I grew up with who never got the opportunity to grow old. Some died young. Some spent decades in prison. Some lost themselves completely to addiction, anger, or bitterness. And honestly, there were times my life could have ended the exact same way. But the Lord stepped in. That's why I speak openly about my testimony. Not because I'm proud of every chapter, but because somebody out there needs to know transformation is possible. Somebody needs to know your beginning. Somebody needs to know that your beginning does not have to defy your ending. Somebody needs to know that even if you're surrounded by violence, trauma, gangs, pain, or hopelessness, the Lord still can rewrite your story. Today, I'm grateful for the life I have. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for the church. I'm grateful for growth. I'm grateful for the Lord giving me another chance when I didn't deserve one. Grateful that my scars become reminders of survival instead of symbols of defeat. I still remember where I came from, but I'm no longer trapped there. Your past may explain you, but it does not have to own you. I couldn't remain the same man and expect a different life. Church gave me grounding, it gave me accountability, it gave me spiritual direction. Most importantly, it brought me closer to the Lord. A real relation that reminded me that I still have a purpose in life. And even today, I continue walking that journey. I'm still learning, still growing, still trusting the Lord's plan. But one thing I know for certain is this: the Lord can bring beauty out of brokenness. I am living proof of that. Yes. And if my story teaches anything, let it teach this: no matter how dark your past, may be, there is still hope for the future.
Come on.
As long as you are breathing, the Lord is not finished with your story.
Come on.
And in closing, my life is proof that the Lord still saves. And if he could take a younger man from the streets of Chicago, a Spanish Cobra gang member who survived being shot 5 times and spent years trapped in gang life, and transform him into the man serving the Lord, then there is nothing impossible in him.